Good evening. Good evening. We're going to get ready to start. Good evening, everyone. Great. I'd like to call to order this public hearing for the New York State Monitor for the Mount Vernon City School District. Today is Tuesday, November 18th, 2025. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. This evening's hearing will focus on the Monitor's findings on the district. I will now open the floor to our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Demario Strickland, as the moderator this evening. Dr. Strickland?
Great evening, everyone. Great evening, everyone.
Great evening.
It's been a while since we had a crowd. Very happy. My name is Dr. Demario Strickland, proud Superintendent of Schools for the Mount Vernon City School District, and I am excited to welcome you all to this evening's State Monitor public hearing. This is how this time will go. I'm going to review the meeting protocols. We are then going to have a presentation on the proposed academic and financial plans by our State Monitor, Dr. Kimberly Young Wilkins. There will be opportunities for public comments. First would be with the 4 individuals that signed up. Next, we have a sign-up sheet if you would like to speak at our hearing this evening. And then finally, we will open the floor for anyone to come and speak. Okay. Yeah. On slide 3. Next one. Next one. Yep. Next one. There we go. So here are the meeting protocols for this evening. After Dr. Wilkins has finished her presentation, I will open up the meeting for comments. Anyone who has submitted a request to speak will be given 3 minutes to talk and will be called upon by name when it is his or her turn. Speakers will be called in the order their speaking request was received. You may still sign up to speak, as I said before, if you submit a request prior to the conclusion of this public comment portion of the public hearing. Written comments also can be submitted as well. And if you do have written comments, you will send those comments to kyoungwilkins@mtvernoncsd.org. And with that being said, I would like to welcome our State Monitor, Dr. Kimberly Young Wilkins.
Good evening. It is so good to see people in seats at our meeting, so this is really great. So thank you. So starting out with the next screen, statutory requirements. Chapter 56 of the law of 2025. Okay. Of 2025 requires that the monitor appointed by the Commissioner of Education develop a proposed 5-year academic improvement and financial plans in consultation with the Board of Education. The legislation also requires that the board conduct a public hearing on the proposed plans to consider the input of the community. And that's why you saw a draft all over that plan, because it truly is a draft. Next one. So the monitor, as I did this work, took a 3-pronged approach to the data collection. The data initially gathered through the actively participating in the daily work and activities of the central office staff. Second was purposeful sampling of identified internal and external groups and folks to participate in actually interviews and focus groups. And finally, the district documents and other artifacts related to the district businesses were examined. Those individual conversations and focus groups and community groups are going to be ongoing the entire time that I'm here. 'Cause you have to get the voice of the community, so more is coming. But there's probably over 100 interviews that I have done so far in the 3.5 months I've been here. Next screen. So the academic improvement, key findings for academic improvement. So there have been instances of board trustees, and let me stop there for a minute. This does not mean all trustees. So you will see this repeated in the first domain and the first 4 findings. Please note this. When it says that, it's not all trustees, but I have to make the recommendation or the finding as I see it. So there have been instances of board trustees not adhering to board policy governing communication, internal, external, and verbal and written. This has led to a culture of mistrust and lack of respect among the board trustees with the superintendent. Another finding, again, the board needs to prioritize student achievement, assuring that all board decisions, let me say again, all board decisions reflect a commitment to improving student academic success. District leadership focuses on their specific area of administration, which has led to siloing of departments. They're very isolated. There is a lack of communication among academic and operational areas, leading to massive miscommunication and lack of continuity of practices, procedures, and cohesiveness. Next slide. The district lacks an up-to-date strategic plan or academic improvement plan with goals, processes, and protocols that clearly articulate the district's vision on how the district will significantly improve student learning. Currently, there is not an organizational chart for the district, especially for the district offices and their departments. The special ed program, which serves over 20% of the district enrollment, faces a number of challenges. I'm just going to mention a couple. Lack of placement of students in the least restrictive environment. Inconsistent provisions of IEPs specify services such as speech, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and service for the hearing and otherwise visually impaired. Another finding, there are a number of concerning issues regarding program for ELs, which is approximately 8% of the district enrollment. Currently, there is no administrator or director for services to EL and lack a bilingual ENL and English for speakers of other world languages certified teachers. Another finding, there's a lot of findings, but let's highlight certain ones. The district does not implement a systemic response to intervention program. It's systemic, which means across the district. And then district leadership reports that there is inconsistency among schools in implementing the district's code of conduct and minimum use of restorative practices. Okay, next slide. These are key financial plans, and let me remind you, the number one reason you have a monitor is the fiscal distress of the district. In 2020, for 24-25, let me back up a second. Some of the findings of the first, there might be about 30 findings in the financial part. The first 7 or 8 were from your external and internal audits. And I need to remind you that there are other people coming in and looking at your data. So let me just go back to some of the findings. In 24-25 school year, independent audit revealed that the district has been relying on part-time outside consulting firms to oversee accounting functions. The district has not filled the position of the treasurer, which will be filled. They're in the process of doing that. There is a lack of staff and segregation of the duties in the payroll department. The lack of staff and segregation of duties negatively affect the payroll function. The increase in the risk of potential error in payroll processes not being performed accurately or timely. Those two roles, the person who takes the money in and one that goes out, they have to be separated. They cannot be together. Currently, many of the payroll functions are performed by a third-party consultant. The budget is not aligned with the district long-term operating plan or a capital plan. The budget does not appear to be aligned with the district's stated academic, social, emotional needs and does not appear to account for year-to-year enrollment fluctuations. That's kind of a big one. Your enrollment's important. You need to know that on a daily basis. There's no evidence of a calendar that shows revenue or expenditures. There's no evidence of monthly, bi-monthly, or quarterly cash flow analysis. There's no evidence that the district has processes for long and short-term planning for building, grounds, and facility maintenance, repair, and construction. Next one. Nope, there we go. The technology department operates siloed from the rest of the district. This is lack of clear communication from the technology department to schools and to the district staff. And there is no evidence of a technology plan that I can get a hold of that is connected to instructional practices, student learning, and data-driven instruction, as well as professional development. Staff and parents report that the district website is not user-friendly, is difficult to use, and in many instances, the information is outdated. You shouldn't have to take 15 steps to get to one thing. That's in this day and age, unnecessary. All right, key recommendations. The monitor and the Mount Vernon City School District will develop a detailed work plan focused on improving academic outcomes, achieving long-term financial stability, and creating a more equitable school system. Guided by the monitor, there will be oversight and ensure compliance with the applicable laws and regulations, and there must be improved leadership through professional development, a clear communication, recruiting, retaining qualified staff, implementing evidence-based instructional practices, and fostering a positive school climate, and enforcing strict expenditure control. Please note for the next steps as well. As your state monitor, I am mandated to do quarterly reports that will be very public and very transparent. They will be presented to the board in a public forum. I also have to do a biannual report and a yearly report. So there is no getting away of monitoring this plan. I also just have to let you know, I meet monthly with State Ed, by myself as the monitor, with Dr. Strickland as the monitor and the superintendent, and then I meet with all the state monitors all come together. So 3 times a month, I'm reporting out the work that's going on at Mount Vernon. Also note that the dates recommended in the plan as you see it, that's one reason why it's in draft. Some of those dates are going to be tweaked to ensure that the time frame fits the work that needs to be done. So that will have to be prioritized, and we're in the process of doing that. So when the plan goes back out to the board next week, those dates will have been really worked upon, so we want to make sure that the district is doing the work necessary. Next, oh, you're just already there, thank you. All right, adoption of the timeline. Chapter 56 of 2025 requires that the monitor submit the proposed academic and financial plans along with any disagreements or request amendments and documentation, provided justification for such disagreements, request amendments to the commissioner no later than December 1st. So bottom line, we got to get something to the commissioner by December 1st. I think December 1st is on a Sunday. We're going to get grace. We're going to give it to her by December 2nd. How's that? Okay. Where there is agreement on the proposal, on the proposed plans, will be deemed approved. If there's disagreement, by January 15th, the commissioner shall approve the proposed plans with any of the requested amendments or make any modifications the commissioner deems appropriate. The board must provide the commissioner with any information request to approve such plans within 30 days of such request. And again, if somehow we can't come to an agreement, the commissioner has a lot of time to kind of look at it, plug it around, and then she sends it back. Oh, I'm ahead of you, okay. Next, they're going to allow people who have signed up to speak in a maximum of 3 minutes, and I'm really taking in your comments. I want to really emphasize the importance of your comments. We will be getting this transcribed, and I will be putting some of the exclamation points or checks on certain parts of the recommendations, because your comments are really important to the report. We really need to hear your voice on that. I will answer questions as I can. Some things, like someone sent me, I wish I was a psychic, they asked me if the taxes were going to go up. I don't know. I hope not. But I really, don't ask me something like that. I can't. It's an important question. I'm not downplaying it. But I can't answer that question. We're actually developing your budget calendar as we speak. So it can be a real process that's clear and very concise so that you know every step of the way as we build the budget and get it prepared for you for May. So I had to put it in there because I wish, if I was psychic, I would be doing lotto, getting you numbers and everything. I just don't have it like that. So with that, I think, Dr. Strickland, we are ready to go.
Our first speaker this evening is Hope Maribel.
Now, do they need a mic?
It's a pen and a paper right here.
I can sit, right?
Be comfortable.
I can be seated, right? I can sit. Okay. Good evening. I'm Dr. Young Wilkins and Dr. Strickland. My name is Hope Marable. I'm a lifelong resident of Mount Vernon, New York. I will be brief, but before proceeding, I should disclaim that I am the sibling of Dr. Donna L. Marable, the school district board's president, and I am the board president of the Mount Vernon Public Library. I believe it's important to point that out because it's no secret to anyone assembled here today that not so long ago our library faced a very similar crisis. So as one who has endured it and survived it and has read every line of Dr. Young Wilkins' painful analysis of the predicament of our beloved school district, of which my 3 siblings and I were all molded, it is a crisis indeed, and there is no other way to say it. To the existing trustees of the Mount Vernon City School District, I know what it's like to inherit a mess. I realize how defeating it can feel and how confusing it might be, and that your ongoing notes to self might consist more or less of, why am I here? What was I thinking? Maybe I should just walk away. But each of you has been charged with the task because a higher being has chosen each and every single one of you to do so. Apart from your commitment to faith and family, I believe saving our school district will be the single most important thing you have ever done because our children are this community's greatest investment. On January 5th, 2024, Lauren Moore, the Assistant Commissioner for Libraries, wrote, "The Mount Vernon Public Library Board of Trustees has submitted the required elements of its registration application, and its 2020 annual report is now approved. As a result, the New York State Library has approved the Mount Vernon Public Library's registration." When I read those words, I slept well that night, contented knowing I had stayed the course and kept my promises. So whatever you do, stay the course and don't give up. You will rise or fall together, so you'd better stick together as a team. We want to see you rise because our children are worth fighting for. I believe Dr. Strickland, Dr. Young Wilkins are a godsend, and I thank you both for your service as well.
Thank you. Mary Kingsley?
Because in case I don't get to finish, and one for you too, in case, because 3 minutes isn't very long.
I was just going to say again, there is a sign-up sheet up front. You can come up and sign your name, and after the folks that called in have their thoughts, you will be called upon.
Maybe I don't want it. Brenda. Okay, so I'm going to run right into this. I'm Mary Kingsley, and I've read the report, and I had a number of comments here, and I don't expect you to answer any questions right now. I want to just run through this, and I'm available for conversation in the future. So when we talk about improving our schools, we have to ask hard questions. What if deadlines aren't met? What if staff isn't hired? What if the board doesn't get the training? What happens? They're not abstract concerns. They directly affect student achievement. Missed deadlines stall momentum and undermine confidence. Delays ripple across programs, pushing everything behind schedule. Expectations must be firm, cleared, and followed. Staffing unfulfilled positions deny students critical services. Overburdened existing staff leads to burnout and lower quality instruction. We must ensure that anyone hired meets the actual requirements of the job, no shortcut. Board training. An untrained board causes inconsistent governance and weak oversight. Training is essential for alignment, legal compliance, and effective leadership. I think we really have to work on robust early literacy and math. I know too many people from our system that their literacy at 12th grade is pretty appalling. A multi-year literacy program that incorporates early math foundations. Keep it stable long enough for teachers to become proficient with the syllabus. Avoid constant initiative changes. Consistency drives mastery. Minimum standards and benchmarks. Set clear minimum achievement standards for each grade. Establish benchmarks across all grades in schools must be consistent and standardized. Create assessments that accurately measure achievement towards stated goals. I don't think, has proven if reflective of true achievement. Consider more reliable alternatives. And the last page there is a text I got from my son, who is multiply handicapped and was in the ACE program at the high school, and I tested him at, I think, first grade literacy. And while he is multiply handicapped and a junior at Syracuse University Inclusive U, you can see that's not first grade. If services cannot be provided, in-district placements must be reconsidered. Not finding a professional to fill a vacancy cannot be the reason a student goes without needed services. Have board members, executive staff, teachers, and support staff collaboratively create a mission and vision. When everyone participates, there's ownership, unity, and shared purpose. IEPs and communication. Ensure IEPs are sent to parents before meetings in draft forms. This is my personal pet peeve. Transparency builds trust and improves teamwork. Music and arts, big for me. Strengthen music and art programs system-wide. Teachers must be given curriculum materials and structured support. It cannot depend on each teacher reinventing the wheel. Staff and safety in buildings. Buildings must be secure, staffed, and monitored. Adequate personnel needed for hallways, emergencies, and absences. Stop pulling staff out of buildings for meetings. Student safety and supervision come first. And you can read the rest.
Great. Thank you. Brenda L. Crump.
I'm just going to walk over here, then I can be in my camera. Thank you. I think I'm in it. I'll stand close here. Closer. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Are we good? CRUMP, Brenda L. Crump. Okay, good evening, everyone. So I won't go into detail like Mary Kingsley. I'll save that for another meeting. I don't have but so much time. One thing I want to ask, the question that's been asked to me of the community, is when you reference board trustees, are you talking about current board trustees, past board trustees? My response was that the question would be better asked to you. Sorry for pointing. That you could answer that question. I would give an assumption that via your observation, participation, your conversation of current and past, since you've been here, and I'm assuming that you've reviewed some board meetings and some notes and other things, that's your assessment. But please answer the question for the community so that it would be factual. Also, I want to talk about the communication of this public hearing. Whenever there's a public hearing, that's something very, very serious. It should be at the top of the Facebook page. If there's a pin like on normal Facebook page where it's pinned, you shouldn't have to scroll down to the bottom for it. In reference to using all of our mode, means, and methods of communication to outreach to the community. It is not efficient, it is not sufficient to say, oh, well, we put it on our website. Not many people go to your website, and as you have said, it's very confusing to get things from the website. So we should be using all social media, all types of our Blackboard alert, that's email, text, and what else is that? Robocalls. In my effort as a community person to alert people about this public hearing, so many people are saying that they were not aware. That is not acceptable for public hearings. Public hearings, I get robocalls from different schools about plays and musicals which are important for our children, but our public hearings of any kind is very important. So we definitely need a better outreach. I am asking and suggesting that the board take a look at the contract of whoever is doing our communications for the district, because I'm just a straightforward person. It's poor. It's not good at all for reaching out to our community members, and if we really want them to be involved and engaged and active people. I want to also say the question's been asked of me, is the time frame of your report, like how far back have you gone in your research and gathering and collecting of your data to make your assessment? People want to know that. So with that said, I'm going to say again, very important about reaching out to the community, and also, as I said, oh, and then when you put in your report the draft, although it's draft, I think it also should be, if you say see attachment, I'm one of those that want to see the attachment. I'm looking for the attachment. I'm sure everybody else, other people are as well. So please attach the 8 board characteristics. I think that's the only time that you reference see attachment in the report. And it wasn't there at the report at the time. But I've put out, and then Trustee Erica Peterson did respond, because I did put out something to all of the trustees and the superintendent as well, to please add that. So it was provided. I did put it out in the outreach to the community, but please make sure that when we go to the site and we pull that up, that is there. Anything that says attachments. Thank you.
Thank you. Bishop Edwards?
Don't let the time start. I want to introduce who I am because we got a lot to say. I bring with us our president of UBC, the pastor of the Greater Centennial Church. A church has been in this community for 128 years. He's been pastor here for 14 years. I've been pastoring Friendship Church for the last 37 years. Our church is 84 years in this community, and so we are here. Now you can let it go. When we heard of this, we received a telephone call asking us, have the ministers been invited for an interview with you all? We had to ask, we said no. Secondly, we are concerned about that the information that you have given us, and we want to welcome you and thank you for coming. I called the superintendent to find out who you was before I even got here. We want to say if this information is correct, is factual, then we feel that we have been violated by the previous boards. That our community, we did not realize what a mess we are in. Because when somebody have to come from outside our community to police us, that's bad. There's nothing good what's happening here. In addition, I asked this question, is we paying for this or the state paying for this? I'm told that we are paying for this. In addition, we're paying her lodge for her to be here. That's bad. That's not good at all. And I've been living in this community 37 years. And we have fought. We have fought when we wanted inclusion, when we wanted to tell her in the ICA out of our district because it reflects who we were. We took over, and we took over the sense of pride. Now here, many years later, where people who have died and now sleeping in the silent city, now we are to this point that a state monitor has been assigned because somebody in our district requested it because we didn't trust each other. And let me tell you something, it's going to get worse before it gets better. There will be layoffs. There will be terminations. Simply because we didn't do what we had to do, now the state have to come in and do what we should have done. She's here for 2 years. That's if the commissioners say that she could be here for 2 years. It may be 5 years. We're looking at a district like Newark, New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey. And the state took over Newark. It took them a decade to get it back. So this is not a good situation for us. It's a terrible situation. Please give my colleague, my president, 3 minutes.
I need 3 minutes.
No, let's give him, yes. But I'm pissed by this. I'm not happy by this. I'm embarrassed. And everybody in here should be embarrassed because we trusted elected officials to do the work, and she's saying it was not done. So I support you, Superintendent, and I support you to get us back on track. And whatever we have to do as clergy, they said keep the clergy out. The clergy got us to the point where the white folks or the people that was in charge was oppressing us. We got to the point where we had freedom, and we took advantage of it. So I want to tell you this, and I'm not racist, brother. I'm not racist. I'm going to tell you how it was when I first came here.
And while we are disappointed at some of the things that have been found in the report, we're also excited that transparency can now come. We're excited that quarterly reports have to happen. We're excited that they need to be public. We're excited about those aspects of where we are because now we can all work together to help get out from under the burden in which we have. So while we are upset that we were told years ago everything was okay, we're doing fine, to find out now that we're not doing fine, to find out now that we're in this crisis, and now we have the state monitor here, we have no other choice but to go along with the findings and then do the work and not point fingers. You cannot, I'm a preacher, so I got to give you a Bible reference. No man that puts their hand to the plow and looks back can move forward. You can't keep going forward by looking backwards to see who shot John. We got to move forward to do what's best for our students and what's best for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Axel Eberman?
Good evening, Mount Vernon. Thank you for holding this hearing and allowing the community to speak. I think this is very important. First of all, I want to say I appreciate all the work that went into this report. You can tell this was not easy and there was a lot of work, and I read all of it. I think anybody who can read can see that there are significant problems with our school district, starting with the board. However, your work and the work by our new superintendent give me hope for the first time in Mount Vernon. I'm not here all the time, but I'm watching what you're doing. Stay the course. I think you're doing really, really fantastic stuff. Thank you for your dedication to our children. I just want to make one point. Reports are not enough. We need to end the pattern of corruption and cronyism that is highlighted in this report. And yes, we have to look back. If actions were improper, they need to be accounted for. There need to be consequences. If school board members that are still sitting, as outlined in the report, try to intervene with school district staff to get their friends and family hired, they need to resign. Not maybe, not tomorrow, not in a week, right now. We cannot tolerate this because that creates the atmosphere to get where we are right now. Accountability is also needed in regard to possible overpayments for certain school employees. It is an open secret that large amounts of money may have been paid in salaries to people at the school district that were not entitled to receive it. This has been kicking around like a hot potato for years. And if it is not true, hire an independent auditor, please, and let the community know. But the rumors are out there, and this is not going to go away. I've heard this for many years, and you guys need to account for that. Keep up the good work. We are hopeful with what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Cynthia Crenshaw?
Hi, good evening. I apologize, but I didn't get a copy of this report. I guess it's online, or is there copies here anywhere? Because I would like to see what your report showed. Because like I said before, with your situation, it's $1 late, $1 short. We thought you was going to be here way before they decided to close 3 of our schools. And one of those schools is a historic black school that was closed. Now, at one of the other meetings, one of the trustees that closed the schools said that the schools are overcrowded now, and what is this superintendent going to do? So what I'm thinking is that this new staff that's here now was actually set up. They knew by closing these schools what was going to happen. What is your plans now? And let me ask you something. Are they planning on selling those schools? And plus, are you planning on opening up another school to alleviate the overcrowding? What is the plan? I just have to see your report because I have not seen it. But I still feel that you are $1 late and $1 short. You should have been here before they decided to close the schools to listen to our concerns, because that is what we was told, that you was coming here. But that did not happen. So I just want to know, once I see your report, I guess I can talk about it more. But are you planning on opening up another school to alleviate the overcrowding of the schools? Because the trustee that closed the schools said it was overcrowded. But didn't they know that before they closed the schools? Closing 3 schools, over 1,000 kids, that it was not going to be a problem with the overcrowding? So that's what I would like to hear. And plus, you did not raise taxes for 10 years. 10 years. Mount Vernon was the only city that did not raise taxes for 10 years. So what did you expect to happen if we don't have any money coming in? The teachers, our bread and butters, they are not getting a raise. And those are the pillar of this community. That's who raise our children. That's who give our children education. What are you doing about that? Okay, the schools are overcrowded. The schools are overcrowded. Are you opening up the schools? Are you going to give our teachers what they need? Those are my questions, and I would like to see your report. Is it a copy here? No, I didn't make a copy. We'll get your copy, though. We'll get your, I didn't make it. Okay, thank you. I did not see it.
Those are all the names that we have scheduled. We can open the floor up now for anyone else who would like to make a comment. The floor is open.
Thank you. So I said about safety and staffing in buildings. Enrichment. I think enrichment is critical for student achievement. I think we need a real district-wide enrichment program across grades and provide opportunities beyond remediation. Creativity, curiosity, and challenge matter. Parent and community input. Ensure meaningful input from parents, community members, and all stakeholders. Create genuine two-way communication. Multilingual outreach. Outreach must be multilingual and consistent across disciplines and schools. Families must understand programs, expectations, and opportunities. Staff self-assessment. Develop a self-assessment tool for staff to reflect on practice, growth, and needs. Involve the union in this. Promotes professionalism, accountability, and continuous improvement. And culture and respect. We must counteract apathy amongst those who feel unheard or disrespected. We have to address and eliminate the stated bias against the South Side. Equity must be real, not just spoken, but practiced daily. Accountability and responsibility to the community is necessary, but at the same time, we must support, praise, and elevate each other to be our best, not continue to attack, demean, ridicule, and accuse, usually without evidence or follow-through. We are one city, one community, one love. Let's be better.
The floor is still open. If you would like to speak, please just raise your hand. And state your name, please.
Hello, everyone. Don't stop. Hi, everyone. My name is Kathy Brunton, NAACP president. I'm just here to support you. But most of all, I'm here to support our family and our community. This is not going to be a screaming match. You just walked in the door. So we understand that you were set up, and our school district was set up for failure because of things that happened, redlining, moving schools, putting families in other communities, and they could not go to their next door school. So it was set up to fail. So you came into a house already on fire. Understanding this here, what are you going to do about rebuilding and reconnecting our community? Because our schools are overcrowded. Okay, our teachers cannot go in the classroom with 35 children with no real support system. Very, very important. We have come from a way that seems so negative. So I'm not here to tear you down. I'm here to work with you, to help you, to give you a voice in our community, and to make a difference. So whatever I can do to stand in the gap as the NAACP representative, let me know, and I'll do just that.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jerry Ann Grant. I am a parent in the district, and I do have 2 students, one in high school and one in elementary school. My question, I'm responding to the last meeting. I've listened to it on YouTube, and I realized, and hopefully I did not misunderstand what was stated, but there was a monitor here for 10 years and a lawsuit that was, it's based on a settlement from the lawsuit. My question is, I was very appalled when I realized there was a monitor because obviously I had no idea. I've been involved with the district since I said the pandemic, and not knowing, I also have a sped student. So not knowing that there was a monitor from that lawsuit, I think is a disservice to the community. And also, I've been involved with making sure I showed up all the town hall meetings and with the budget report and everything. I'm quite aware that the monitor was being paid by the city, but I did not recall seeing a budget line item on that expense saying that there was a monitor being paid. So that's one of my concerns. But my main issue is, since the whatever reporting from that monitor was not complied with 100%, what are the ramifications from that not being done? I also have a problem with the monitor because it shouldn't have taken 10 years. If I'm not a teacher, and I've handled many projects, large projects, but there's got to be milestones. And if you're not following those directions within a certain time period, how do you not escalate and say, hey, the district is not performing based on what their recommendations are? So who monitors that monitor? So I have a big issue with that it took 10 years. Those students are already probably out the district already. So that's unacceptable. So how do we make sure this does not happen again and make sure that whatever the monitor I know is in place, what is being done to ensure that this mistake does not get repeated? I've heard many times, let's close and move on, but that should not be the case. We need to look back, understand retrospective, what was done wrong, what do we need to do right, and make sure we don't keep repeating these mistakes. I've been in Mount Vernon. I am a product of Mount Vernon school system, and I think I've done pretty well. But we're being a disservice to our students, and we want to make sure we remove all barriers and not being we're actually setting up them for failure. Now, I must say for parents, I'm disappointed because I thought there would be a lot more parents here tonight. And not just parents, because I've heard the same statement all the time. I don't have kids in this district. It's unbelievable because if you don't have a child in the district, if you're a property owner, I've repeated this many times, it does affect you. So tell your neighbors, they need to come out and have accountability for all our administrator and our board members. This is ridiculous. Not even if you're a property owner, but also if you live in the district, if you do business in the district, if you care about your future with these kids, why you're not standing up for them? They're our future. And I'm hoping that this is going to go up and upwards and this does not continue. So let's see. But parents, friends, family members, neighbors, we need to do better.
Thank you.
Good night. My name is Lisa Robinson. I am new to Mount Vernon. This is our 8th year. My family of 4, 2 girls and my husband. My 17-year-old graduated from Mount Vernon High School. She's going to be a chef, a personal chef like her mommy. And I have a 13-year-old that sent me to this meeting because she wants to know why is she still taking the Regents when her cousins aren't taking it in other states? And also, currently in Pennington, there is no science teacher, right? There's a substitute teacher, and she wants to know why is she taking that? Why is she taking the Regents for science if there's no teacher? The students don't take the class seriously, and so she is feeling somewhat left behind, because now is she going to high school with that credit, right, for the class? She doesn't know. She's in limbo and she wants to graduate on time. And as for this gentleman, I'm sorry I'm pointing in the glasses, nepotism seemed to be everywhere in Mount Vernon. It doesn't matter about the school, it's the board, the building board. We've had many issues with that. It's every corner of Mount Vernon. Everyone has a handout, and if you don't know someone, you just get nowhere. And I feel it's a shame that we have to do the same thing in the school system. It's really sad. Again, I'm a product of the Bronx, right? We all know the taxes in the Bronx is no more than $6,000 a year, right? Here in Mount Vernon, we pay an extreme amount of taxes. Neither one of my children has ever been on a school trip. Never. Never. She is 17, 18 in 1 month, and she has never been on a school trip, not from 6th grade. And that's sad to me, because the Bronx, with $6,000 a year, you're going to the zoo, you're going to a play, you're going to at least 2 museums for the year, and I just feel it appalling. I thought Mount Vernon, being a smaller community, would have been really great for my family, but I find myself working so hard to find help for my kids. You know, I reached out to, I had a math substitute, tutoring in my house for an entire year. I spent $700 a month on math tutoring for my daughter, just so that she can do well. And, you know, to be honest, my kids are not children that might go to Yale or whatever, but I do want them to know what they need to know. And it's just really difficult. Like, both my girls are on IEPs, and to get them out of it, it's private tutoring, and more private tutoring, right? And if I'm paying so much taxes, why do I need to come out of pocket for tutoring? Like 2 weeks, 2 hours a day for 4 days out of the week for an entire year. That's a lot of money, right? And it has to get done, because those are my girls, and I need them successful, and I need them to know they're not just here to do what do you call that kind of work where it's repetitive. I don't even remember right now. But I don't need them doing that kind of work. I need them using their brains and forming ideas and businesses, and none of the schools here really do it.
Thank you. The floor is still open. If anybody has anything else, any other comments?
No, I'm stay right here. Thank you. I am Dr. Lynn Middleton, Bishop Dr. Lynn Middleton. I am a school board trustee, and this is my 3rd year on this board. And I just want to say that a lot has transpired in the last administration. Yep, that really got us where we are today. But given, when we're talking about it, we already know what happened. So my question is to Dr. Wilkins and Dr. Strickland, and to everybody that make up the cabinet, what are we going to do now? Because we pulled you in here to make a difference and to help us to move forward. And that is what we need to do. We need to bounce off of what it was and make it what it needs to be. So we need to move forward with what it is. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the address that I heard, that there was maybe a higher number than now, a lower number of teachers resigning, but now we're at a lower number. So wherever the gap was filled with certified teachers, or was it really filled with substitute teachers? To say that, okay, now there's a difference maybe from 1,100 to 55, or whatever the numbers were. So my thing is that we pulled you in here, Dr. Strickland, and other people to help us to move from where we were. And it's not easy. I know it's not, because I sat there, I got beat up for 2 years. That in the 3rd year, we would see the difference. I did. Every meeting, I got beat up. I got beat up every meeting, but guess what? It was worth it, because I know who I am. I'm confident. And I know whose I am, so I'm confident. So my question today is, can we, knowing what it was and listening to the report, can we now take your recommendations, and can we now see what it is that we need to do to make this district move forward? Because here's another thing that I've been repeatedly saying and been repetitive about, is that you cannot take old wine and put it into new skin bottles and think it's going to work. There's residue. Trust me, hear me. There's residue. And when residue is on you like that, can't work. So the new way of thinking cannot go where you need it to go when there's old and new together. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I want to know, as a board member, and we're going to get together when we do, how it is now, knowing what it was, because you came in, right, knowing what it was, and we want to move forward. And we have got to move forward. All right? So that's all I want to say. Because Mount Vernon, money earned in Mount Vernon, I've been here all my life. And guess what? We've got the potential to do it. And don't play us in Mount Vernon, because yeah, we on. We on. Yeah. Okay, so listen, it is my prayer to see better than not.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Floor is open.
And then I'll get to you too.
I just want to say that there's a great team assembled, and there's no reason why the work cannot get done, you know. And that was why I emphasized that the current board, they need to stick together. You know, how do you get it done? You stick together, you work together as a team, you appreciate what each other has to offer. There's always going to be those that kind of don't want to see you make it because they're going to go, oh, I told you so. But you guys have the ability to prove them wrong. You really do. But you do have to stick together because it's like I said, you're going to fall together or rise together, and we want to see the school district rise up from this, you know? Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Marable, and I am a resident of Mount Vernon. I am, full disclosure, I am the president of the school board, but I am not speaking on behalf of the school board. I am speaking as an individual resident in the city which I was born, raised, and educated in. I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly in Mount Vernon. I am also a retired school principal. I have served for over 25 years. I am now retired. And I have watched our school district deteriorate to the point that it is alarming. But I want to say that I also have hope. I want to say thank you for this transparent report. It is absolutely mind-opening and mind-blowing because there are some things in that report that we thought was true, but now we know based on the data that it is true. I also want to say thank you to Dr. Strickland because I have seen that he is motivated, he is educated, he is knowledgeable, he is committed, he is passionate, he sees what it is that has happened in the past, and he knows what it's going to take to move us forward, but we got to have some patience. We've got to have patience. We didn't get here overnight. We know that there were things that were done that for self-serving purposes. We know that it occurred. We know that they didn't raise taxes for 9 years. And we know what the implications are of that because the bills still come in regardless. So we also know that tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow is a new day, and it is going to take everyone. It is going to take this entire village in order to be able to get us back on track, in order for us to see success, in order for us to continue success. I, too, was raised in the city. I graduated from Mount Vernon High School, and I didn't do too bad either. So, and there's a lot of people that I see sitting around in this room, and I want those children that are sitting in these seats now to have the same opportunities that I had when I was a student and I came through this school district. And I know that Dr. Strickland wants and sees the same thing, and I am looking at this as an opportunity to see what was wrong and to see where we need to go so we can make it right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good evening. My name is Geraldine Lorday, and I am a Mount Vernon resident. I do not have, I shouldn't say, my granddaughter goes to Denzel Washington School. And I just want to say one of the things that concerned me, first of all, tonight was that this meeting was held at 5:30, which is an awkward time for parents to be, if you expect parents really to participate. Board meetings are held at 6 o'clock. To have a meeting at 5:30, and you really want parents to come out. And in addition to the things that were already stated, that it's not known to parents, I'm wondering why schools, I'm looking at, and I'm saying to myself, what are we doing wrong? For 30 years, I've sat in this room, at least 30 years. I was a teacher in New York City. I came, and my biggest concern has always been for parental involvement and community involvement. And I work with a team of people on what we call Parent Involvement Day. But to me, Parent Involvement Day is every day. And it seems to me that there is just a blatant disrespect for parents. We say that we want parents, and we say that we know that they have difficulty getting here, but we still, the board meeting is at 6, but we have this meeting at 5:30. I'm asking myself why. That was my first concern. Then I want to know if we had, when they have math night, or if they have science night, or they have ELA night, the parent coordinators get on the phone and they make calls, and they're robocalls, and they're all kinds of calls. When you tell me that you're interested in getting parents out, if that was not done for this meeting, then we're not doing our job. Secondly, I feel like parents are disenfranchised because whenever we come to meetings, we can ask 1,000 questions and never get an answer. How long do we expect people to come and not feel heard or seen? For me, it's not that I did not know what was going on, but we could ask 1,000 questions and it was never answered. And it seemed to me that nobody cared. And the only time you have people coming out is when there's a big hoopla. And then the questions never get answered and you go back to the same thing. And even for myself, I'm tired. I think people become tired, and and as I said, they become disenfranchised. And I personally don't want to continue to see my taxes go up if we're not going to do something different. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sister Lord. I don't know if I have to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Monroe. But Sister Lord definitely put one issue on the table because we have to address that this is a working class community. We have to act like it. And that's one of the problems with our general structure and culture. I think one thing I'd like to address in my minute and 42 seconds left is that toward the end of, first of all, Dr. Young-Wilkins, thank you for your work. I have been one of the people who have no tolerance for external state control at state, federal, or otherwise of community. But in that we are here, I am wondering if in your theory of change presentation or your particular premise, what allowance is there for actual community control? Community control, we can discuss the details and the ramifications later, but it actually needs to be installed in a way that's systemically actually demanded so that we have communities, whether it's block by block, district by district, I don't know how we use in terms of census or whatever, some level of accountability where bodies of people are accountable going from the bottom up. That's a problem in this community. We have an elite running this community like a neo-colonial outpost. I've said it before, it's nothing new, and I realize people take umbrage with it. It's a political analysis, not a personal attack. So in as much as we do have this neo-colonial construct, it does go back many decades to when actual colonial exploitation occurred in this community. We have to address that. This, in fact, is the nurturing institution of the academy, right? We have to act like that's what we want out of our students, not just tax-paying wage slaves. We have to bend and break, if we have to, the structure of the status quo. Finally, I'd like to say that if we can go forward, especially with things like farming, I've addressed that before as a solutionary process to look at. We have, again, this top-down thing where a nutrition specialist in Donna Jackson is now let go of the only farmer that in the community doing grassroots work toward farming. There are fiduciary, financial, there are academic, social outcomes that can benefit from that, and yet we're doing the same top-down thing. So to the superintendent, that's a particular thing you need to look at as one particular, web of issues. But that's all I have, so I'm going to hope that we can deal with that theory of change issue, because community control from the bottom up is what I'd like to see actual answers for. And then, of course, we have to deal with the community. I don't have any more time to talk, but the community is the issue. We don't have a well-informed, well-organized community, but that's our job. Okay, that's another issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I just had one more question. No, maybe two more. The schools that was closed and the reason they were closed, is that in this report? Why those? Okay, that's not in here. Okay, and it's no secret that our taxes were not raised for 10 years because the previous board was protecting a certain side of Mount Vernon and a certain class of people. Let's just put it out there. Everybody know that. That's not no secret. And as soon as they realized that the taxes was going to be raised, they threw that board under the bus. Everybody know it. There's no secret. So that's why our taxes was not made, because they was protecting a certain group of people. Okay? And when the taxes was raised, they threw them under the bus, which was very obvious.
All right, seeing there are no more comments, we're going to go ahead and adjourn the meeting. This public hearing is now adjourned. Thank you and good night.